A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the fifth edition of Samurai Awards and Conference 2024. Today is day five. As I spoke a little bit about cricket. So I told it's not a marathon, and in cricket it's not T20. It's a test match, and I can say today is day five, the last day of our virtual session, and we have saved the best for the last. We have got a great panel who will be speaking on a topic called driving innovation across industries. I've got a beautiful line of speakers. I wanted to introduce you one by one. We have Mr. Luca Mattiucci, Managing Director, Marpos India. And I can say today is day.
Yes.
Mr. Raman Upmanyu, Industry Manager, EV and Biomedical, Marpos India. We have got Mr. Hanish Arora, Key Account Manager, Head Marpos India, and we have got Fabian Vincent, Aerospace Business Unit Director, Marpos. A very good afternoon and welcome you all. And we want to start the discussion, or we can say the presentation, starting with you, Luca.
Thank you very much, Dinesh, and thank you, Meshmesh Media, for this opportunity and to have organized this fantastic platform as a Samurai Awards. I'm pretty sure that you already discussed about everything about Samurai, but I think that this year is every year we will assume more and more importance and with more and more audience. So I thank you again. I thank you also my colleagues for their availability and all the spectators that are following us in this next hour. So today we'll present. We'll have a brief presentation about what is Marpos. So I will not bother you too much because I would prefer to leave the stage to my fellow colleagues that are much more into the technical rather than me. Starting very quickly, Marpos. What is Marpos? Marpos is an Italian-based company. We started in 1952, so we completed 72 years this year. We born in Bologna, and then lately, when we enlarged our operation, we moved out in Bologna outskirts, in the Bentivoglio city, which is very close to Bologna. It's not very far from also my hometown, that is Ferrara. Is based in Emilia-Romagna and is very close to reality like Modena, where everybody knows that is a Ferrari, Lamborghini. Anyway, it's a very vibrant and interesting Italian region where is a core of automation and motorsport. In fact, we are also linked in some way to some motorsport company, etc. Having said that, what we are doing, what Marpos is serving in the history, what is doing for the industry. We are supplier of quality measurement and inspection system, especially for the production environment. We became a world leader in measurement technology by offering to our customer a quite good combination between advanced product, the market knowledge, and also the commitment to a long-term partnership. Just a side note, I would like to say also to add that this long-term commitment is not only with our customer, it was with our employee, because I'm working with Marpos from 2007. Other people in this panel is working in Marpos for more than a year. So we are a big family, not only with our customer, but also within ourselves. Thanks to these special relations, we grow quite consistently in the years. Now we are present with our sales and service operation in more than 25 countries, with others that are served by our agents or distributors. What we became Marpos Group? We started especially and mainly for the automotive industry. And in the last 10 years, we evolved drastically. So we added along our traditional machine tool measurement system, that is our core business and where we were born with that. We added other kind of technologies based on in-process and post-process monitor on the machine tools, so monitoring, software of monitoring. Some of them based also with the AI. Functional test, electrical or leaking, along with completely automated solution. And as you can see, from this brief slide, also standard gauging as usually. But what I want to stress in this session today is that all our solutions are towards the quality of the products, the quality of the manufacturing process. Because we think that nowadays, if you want to succeed in the market, in this very competitive market, you need to provide good products, very good products at the right price. Marpos in the figures, just a brief. We are present in 34 countries. Our export is mainly abroad. In fact, now 94% of our turnover is based on export. We are approximately 3,500 employees, so we are not a very big company, but we are quite a medium-sized good company. We got 80 offices worldwide, and as I said before, in the last few years, especially in the last 24, if we want to be precise, we made more than 30 acquisitions. And we are still investing around 8% in our R&D, just because due to this long acquisition and main acquisition, we need to integrate all this new technology within each other. 2023 has been quite a good year, even if it's still affected by some COVID affected, yes, we can say this. The majority of these, let's say, almost the 50% is coming from Europe, and the remaining is coming between Asia and Americans. We got good hope for America due also to this new and recent Trump election. So let's hope to show you maybe next year different numbers coming from Americas. Where we are based, more or less, our main sales and service center are based in Germany, China, USA, Japan, and Italy, while our main manufacturing plants are in Italy, China, Germany, US, and France. And as maybe some of you knows, we are moving forward also to establish a small manufacturing facility also here in India, due to the fact that India, as everybody knows, has become more and more relevant in the international manufacturing landscape. So we really need to move forward with this decision soon. Which are the markets that more or less we are into it? Apart our stronghold coming from machine tool makers and gauge and fixture market, we are pushing forward, especially, and obviously today we got some representative of this in additional market, coming away a little bit from the standard automotive industry. We got aerospace, and here in India it's become a very interesting market, as we saw in the last panel discussion. Biomedical, glass industry that we saw that there is quite good market share in Europe, and we are expecting the same will become also over India. Energy sector, because I think that this one is especially in our country here, where the sun definitely is not missing, so there could be achieved a lot in this. Energy, that could come from fuel cell and other source of energy. CCC, just to explain a little bit better, is discussing about mobile phone, consumer goods, stuff like that. And what is as transversal use in a lot of industries, bearing, electrical motors, and compressors. As a product range, maybe you remember, as my motto is, we are from watches to the moon. We are able to cover all the measuring, inspection, and testing from the manufacturing inside the machine itself to the end of the line. So I will not go too much in deep because I don't want anyone. But anyway, as you can see from this slide, we are already present when the part is machined inside the machine from a part management. We are also doing not only the feedback to the machine, but also we are checking the tool, because it's not only a matter of checking if the machine is the part is the correct side or not. But why is not the correct side? Because maybe the tool is worn. So in order to reduce the scrap and to become more sustainable, it's better to check the tool in order to reduce the scrap, consume less energy, and be more eco-friendly. To complete everything with machine and process monitoring. So in order to analyze in deep the force, the power, the vibration, the noise, whatever information is useful to assess if the machine is having a problem, again, and I want to really stress this out, to provide an efficient and quality product with the less consumption of energy as possible. Then, obviously, when we analyze the part related to inside of the machine, we also offer the post-process, or let's say the after machining process section, where we could have inline gauging, offline gauging for some sample testing, inspection, testing with non-destructive test, leak test, and functional of, for example, batteries and motors. And also we reach till the point where we are able also to provide completely automatic assembly solution integrated inside the line of our customer. How we are able to do this? We are able to do this thanks to our own technology based on our gauging probes, our software along with our industrial computer, and as I say, yes, the software that is collecting all this information to give you the quality indication about how your process is going forward and what you have to do in order to correct it to maintain to the current level. Other interesting technology that we're able to offer are also, as you say, contact gauging, but not only the electronic one, also air to electronic and also hard gauging. So it's very simple, but still very effective way to measure. Non-contact gauge, that is a very interesting solution because it's not, let's say, creating any potential damage to any part, and also is very flexible. So in the terms also to avoid to overproduce and having an application that is able to measure various parts, we also move forward with this kind of technology. Vision system, that if you want to say is more or less related to the above one, but in a different way. As we said before, process monitoring, sensor and software, again, to check the entire environment for the machine, the leak testing and functionality test. Having said that, what at the moment is our range? Our range is coming from, as you can see from this slide, 50% around machine tool products. And you say machine tool products means all the ecosystem related to the machining of the part. Following that, the other big chunk is inspection and testing, around 57%, and the remaining part, and is what we just seen in the previous slide, is a gauging component. This is a briefly view of our headquarters in Bentivoglio, nearby Bologna. You can see that to respect and to try to be as most environmentally friendly, we got also this lake. And this lake is not for just for a picture purpose. This lake is used to recycle all the rainwater that is collected in this lake and is used in all the toiletries inside our plant. So we are trying to be as much sustainable as possible, especially in this recent time where everybody knows what the climate change is affecting our planet. Last but not the least, these are the 30 companies that I mentioned in one of the first slides that we acquired during the year, and that is composed the Marpos Galaxy, as I like to say, that we are moving from the original one in process and post-process gauging to, let's say, to one of the latest one in leak testing, automation, electrical testing, aerospace tooling, and software for quality. So I don't want, as I said, bother you more, but I think that would be more interesting to pass to the real matter of the topic discussion today. So I thank you, all of you again. I thank you, Dinesh and Meshmex Media again, and good work and good luck for my colleague that is coming next. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luca, for sharing the your presentation. Your last slide made my eyes goes all the direction because there were so many companies. It's like I have to quickly have a look at the entire gamut of the solution and the companies which you have put under Marpos umbrella. Thank you, Luca, and we will have a few questions at the end of the session. Raman, would you like to present?
Sure. So thank you, Dinesh and Mishmax Media again for hosting me again here. It's always good to meet you. So as Luca said, that Marpos is a family, and most of the people here are from so long associated with Marpos. For me, it's like currently 3 years associated with Marpos. So 3 years of a long journey to be up still, like for 3 years also I did feel like that I am not working in this company from so long. So that's how the family culture we have been given by Marpos. So Luca was correctly right about the family culture, and I'll take it a little forward what Luca has explained to you about Marpos globally. Just one slide from my side for India also. Like Luca explained that we are having offices in India, and we have opened our offices all over the India, and we have the head office in Manesar, Pune, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Jamshedpur. Total employees is 120. So the point is why we have opened the offices all over the country is just Marpos has a tendency to stay very close to the customers. So if you see Manesar, we are covering the north region from Manesar, and we are having manufacturing facility here in India. In Manesar region. Pune is also the manufacturing hub. Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Chennai. So just to cater the customers of different ranges with a least possible time to provide them the after sales service and even the sales support, we have opened offices all over the country. Now, my today's topic of discussion is biomedical market. So Luca was during his presentation, he was primarily focusing on quality of the components. So I would say in medical segment, I would say the quality is foremost criteria to produce any of the component, because medical sector is directly related to the life of an individual. So again, I'll follow one dialogue. One life lost is far too many, Dinesh. So for biomedical, quality control is very important. I'll quickly go through the solutions which we can offer you for the biomedical. We can offer the solutions in two different ranges. One is disposables, another one is implants. Disposables are something which can be used and we can dispose it off, like the vials are there, blood bags are there, blood tubings are there. Implants are something like, there are two types of implants we generally have in this, one is, the dental implants, and the another one is orthopedic implants. So the solutions which we can offer for these equipment, these particular two sections are dimensional tests. So we can have any kind of dimensional measurement for dental implants, orthopedic implants, and any of the disposable. We can have the functional test also, like functional test for disposable. If I'll say, we can have the, ISO certified gauges, which I'll explain in, my upcoming slides. And apart from that, we can have the leakage testing. In automatic process, we can provide the complete implant quality control gate and the gauge assembly solutions. For tool monitoring, as Luca explained that, we need to see before the tool wears out, we need to continuously monitor the health of the tool which we are using to make, any of the implants. So for that, we can provide the sensors. For production process also, we can provide the automatic dispensing solution, which can dispense automatically you can say the cyclohexanone to bond something. Apart from that, we do have the Industry 4.0 software also to link all these. I'll move on to the implants now. So for implants, first solution which we have is the optical solution. That is, we have the OptoFlash XS. So what it does the complete measurement of the orthopedic screws and even the the dental implants also. So what it can do, it can have the measurement of threads, pitch diameter, size, profile angle, and thread total length, linearity, and concentricity. So what it will do, it will recreate the 3D of the complete system, and this is based on the shadow casting process. Then you can have any of the measurement by the use of our software, and the cameras are which is using the shadow casting process. Next one is the confocal sensors. So confocal sensors are again used to detect the manufacturing defects. So confocal sensors are basically based on the confocal technology, that is the white light technology. Once the white light is being emitted from any of the our sensor, and once it get reflected or refracted back from the surface, then on which wavelength it gets reflected, with that calculation we can have the structural defect and manufacturing defects of the implants. Third one is functional and inspectional test of external and external threads in orthopedic screws. So these are these gauges which we provide to check the mean diameter, angle of the threads, and pitch errors. So these gauges are not just a normal gauge. Like people will say, I can manufacture these gauge over here. Marpos provides the gauges with ISO certification, which is must in the medical segment, because if you are checking something, some dimension, it will ultimately go inside the human body. So 0.1, 0.2 mm dimension here and there can make a lot of impact. So what we provide these gauges to check the dimensions and provide go no go gauges that is ISO certified. Next one is we also provide the implant quality gates, like I explained in my previous slides, that Marpos can provide the dimensional measurement of screws. Apart from that, what we can provide is we can also provide the the functional testing of the screws and nails for implantology. This is for the tool process monitoring, which I've said that whenever we are doing whenever we are making some screws, we are making through some machining operations. So what we can do, we can put some of the sensors inside the machine to check the continuous health of the tool, and and it can even provide you the real-time tool breakage, tool wear, and tool missing detection also can be done through these sensors. Next one is this is the latest solution which Marpos introduced in its pocket is 3D profilometer. These are again based on the confocal point sensors, but this can reconstruct the 3D image of the dental implants, and you can check any of the measurements like topography, basically surface topography you can measure through this. Next, I'll move to the disposables. So the first sensor solution for disposable is again the chromatic confocal sensor, which is again used to check the thickness of any of the tubes or the glass products. Next one is the optical technology. So as Luca explained that we are into the glass segment also. So for the glass segment, if you want to check the vials, so in medical segment, vials are being manufactured through glass. So if you want to have the measurement of vials, like the neck diameter or the pitch of the neck, or the length, point to point distances, anything you want to measure dimensionally, we can provide through our optical technology. Next one is for if you are like you might have seen you might all have seen the blood tubings. So blood tubings are being produced by the extrusion process. So we can provide you the diameter gauge that is totally contactless, through which you can continuously measure the diameter and ovality of the parts once the parts are being extruded from the extrusion machine. Apart from the measurement of real-time measurement of the diameter, we can provide you the out of tolerance alarms, regulation also for the extrusion process. So we can provide the feedback to the PLC to correct if the diameter is going out of the spec. The second solution is again the laser-based solution, but that is the portable solution. So if this is what we call a handy wire scanner. So if someone wants to check the diameter offline or inline also of any medical tube, they can have this laser technology and you can check. So I would like to draw the attention of all the viewers over here that as I told you, that Marpos is very well known for the precision. So we provide the repeatability up to 1 microns, which is highly precise for the non-contact gauging. Next one, again, as I explained for the implants also, we can provide the ISO certified gauges to check the thread connectors, like as per the ISO standards, ISO 80369 and ISO 13485. So these are all already the ISO certified gauges. Again, the final the solution which I would like to introduce is leak testing. So in medical segment, leak test is very important. Suppose you are manufacturing any blood tubes, any blood bags, urine bags, anything. If you do not do the leak testing, you cannot pass your product and send it to the market. So Marpos can provide you the complete leakage testing solution, that is for the air leakage testing. Apart from the leakage, we can also provide the flow test also with a single system only. So apart from the leakage, you can have the flow testing also to measure the flow and leakage in one go only. Next one is the solvent dispenser. So solvent dispenser is, when the blood tubes are being manufactured and then it will be joined to a connector, that is the plastic connector, and the fluid which is used to join that connector is called cyclohexanone. So this is the production equipment which we can supply you to have the automatic bonding of the tubes to the plastic connectors. So this is what we can provide. And apart from that, also, if someone wants to have the very precise leakage, which cannot be detected through air, because air has the limitation to detect the leakage up to 10 to the power minus 3 millibar liter per second. If someone wants to have the precise leakage detection, we can also provide the helium leak test application, which, for example, can be used in blood filters, auto injector pens, and bioreactors. Apart from that, as I explained, that we can provide you the software for quality and compliance management, that is the Industry 4.0 software, which can be supported by ISO standard like 13485. So that will be all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raman, for taking us through your slides. And I feel healthcare and medical system, biomedical is very important. And like you said, one life lost is far too many. And I guess manufacturers of biomedical industry would be look at all those products, and they will be, if anybody wants to improve the quality or all those leak testing and other stuff, they must look at the product. And thanks, Raman. And now
Thank you.
let's move to Hanish.
Thank you, Dineshji. Thank you, Luca, for this opportunity. I will speak about our offerings in the semiconductor industry. As an introduction, I started in Marpos in 2004, coming from the college as a service engineer. And then I moved to sales. Then I served as a regional head for North, moving to strategic business. And now I am currently key accounts manager head, as well as industry manager for semiconductor and 3C. So I'll focus on the semiconductor offerings today. So Marpos, what we do offer. So Marpos is providing sensors for process control during and after the machining process. I'll just skip through this slide. Luca has already covered. So what we do, the sectors we are into, the numbers for the group. So machines for chip manufacturing. So here we are trying to show the key machining process and the equipments in the chip manufacturing, starting from ingot grinding to packaging and die attach. What Marpos do? So Marpos sensors can be integrated inside an automatic machine to keep under control some parameters that are essential to keep the production quality under control and reach a constant productivity. So the keywords here are production quality and constant productivity. I will speak about our solutions, which are offered inside the machine for three processes. One is ingot slicing, the second one is back grinding, and the third one is chip singulation. In case of ingot slicing, the machines are wire saw designed for slicing semiconductor ingot and solar cell blocks. So ingots are big components that are 2 meters in length, and for a 300 wafer, a silicon wafer, it's like around 500 in diameter. So we have to cut these ingots into number of wafers. So out of a ingot of 2 meters in length, we are cutting a wafer with 1 thickness. So we are getting 2000 wafers from an ingot of 2 meters length. And we are using wire with diamond coating. For solar, there are square ingots. For semiconductor, there are round ingots. So slicing machine is using diamond wire that could benefit in using acoustic sensor system in detecting wire breakage. So the wire is around 200 micron in diameter. The diameter, the diamond may chip off and the wire may break. So we are basically offering an acoustic sensor with an P1D AE amplifier, which is able to detect the wire breakage. So we have a P1D AE plus acoustic sensor. The benefits are immediate machine stop to avoid further damages, fast wire breakage detection, that is in few milliseconds, and automatic sensor setup according to machine background noise and increase machine safety. So this solution goes on the ingot to detect the wire breakage. Coming to the back grinding, so achieving the correct wafer thickness before assembly is critical in semiconductor manufacturing. Wafer back grinding is a semiconductor manufacturing process designed to control the wafer thickness, which is essential to produce ultra-thin wafers used to create stacked and high-density packaging. So, as we understand that the wafer has to be thin because already the chips are there. So a 800 micron wafer has to be thinned down to 100, 150 micron, depending on the application. So there is a huge grinding wheel, and there is a DI water or ultra pure water is used as a coolant. What is our offering? So Marpos proposes two solutions that can work in machine environment. We can offer a contact gauge, or we can or a non-contact gauge, depending on the application, depending on the material during the grinding process. So we are basically checking the thickness during the grinding process. The first offering is contact gauge that are normally used to check wafer thickness during back grinding operation till the minimum thickness of 150 to 200 micron. So in case of silicon material, we can use a contact gauge. But there are wafers that cannot be measured with contact or infrared. So there are hard materials like highly doped wafers, gallium nitride, silicon carbide in some cases, and gallium arsenide. So we have a different solution for that. We are offering flexible configuration in using multiple type of sensors, capability to control the grinding of different type of wafers, and to produce a stable measure. So as we understand that wafer chip manufacturing is a complex process and is using different type of materials. So we have designed different sensors and amplifiers looking at the industry requirement. So in case of silicon, we have a contact gauge. In case of silicon carbide, where it is transparent to infrared. There is a interferometry that is using IR gauge. Then we have confocal uh, where we can use it with a distance gauge. Then there is a contact gauge where we use the IR gauge, and different Marco sensors for the machine monitoring. Here, I would like to emphasize that, Marco's controller is acting as a black box. So there is a log file, which is basically checking what parameter has changed, if there is any issue. So if there is a problem on the machine side or on the measurement side. So we are having a log file which is able to trace that where the problem stands. Coming to the NCG. So a silicon wafer can be thin for less than 150 to 200 micron. There we can use a contact gauge, but where we need to have a thickness of less than 100 micron, there we are using a NCG. So non-contact gauge that basically works on the infrared. So in case of silicon and silicon carbide, where the material is transparent to the infrared, we can use a NCG. And we can control the wafer grinding process, and the thickness we can measure up to around 4 microns in this case. It comes into different configurations. So depending on the material and depending on the application, we have various sorts of NCG. So it's a reliable solution in dry and wet environment. The measure is not influenced by any tape, support, or glue presence. Mounted on an arm can be used to check wafer's TTV. We can check the thickness from coming down from 900 micron to 4 micron. Smart elaboration and digital output is there. Very recently, we have developed a new gauge that we call P3CF. This has been developed in case of hard materials. So where we have highly doped wafers, ceramic plates, and germanium, these are not transparent to the infrared. So in that case, we are using a confocal technology. There is one contact gauge that is on the rotating table, and the other confocal gauge is on the wafer. So not basically, destroying the wafer and also doing the wafer thickness. This is mainly used for the hard materials. So coming to the next process, that is dicing. So initially there was a ingot, then there was a wafer. Wafer had already chips on it. We had to grind it from 800 micron to 150 micron, depending on the application where we were doing back grinding. Now there is dicing. So chips are there on a thin wafer after back grinding, and now we have to cut the chips, which will be later packaged. So a dicing saw is a saw that is used to basically cut the chips from the wafers. And semiconductor wafers can be of different material, could be glass, ceramic, crystal, and others. Marpo's experience in the camera technology and solutions on the machine, we have developed a laser diode, which is basically checking the blade's edge positioning. So this cycle is done to basically control the blade's wear. And we have another sensor that is doing the blade breakage control. So we are using MDG1 controller, where there is two sensors, one basically for the positioning to control the blade wear, and the other is for the blade breakage. Actually, the blade is quite fragile. So this is around 30 micron in thickness. So we need to have some sort of a mechanism to understand if there is a wear or there is a breakage. Additionally, we have also a camera-based system. So dicing blade dimension can be measured using Marpo's VTS in-process camera. So there is a visual tool setter that can basically check the dimensions of the blade. So we can check basically the blade's diameter. We can check the position of the blade. We can check the TIR, the cutting radius, and cutting angle. So we are taking basically the picture of the blade with a camera and able to measure these parameters. So this is how it looks like. And if required, we have to change the blade. So I spoke about our sensors that was used during the machining process. So now comes the second part, that is the sensor used after the machining process. So mainly into metrology and inspection. So Marpos can offer a wide range of sensors. It could be a single point contact confocal sensor. It could be a line sensor. There can be a camera. There can be a white light interferometry. It could be infrared sensor. So semiconductor manufacturing is a complex process, and we may need metrology at various level of process. So we are offering different sensors, doing inspection, doing thickness, TTV, bow, wrap, and 2D topography. So point sensor basically work on IR and white light, and they are able to detect the thickness of transparent and non-transparent materials. So ranging from silicon to gallium arsenide and gallium nitride, sapphire, etc. Confocal technology is the optimized solution to produce different type of high accuracy measurements. So we are able to check following parameters. So transparent layer thickness, we can do TTV, total thickness variation. We can check critical dimension. We can check TSV, micro topography, flatness, roughness, waviness, step height, stress, wafer thickness, and TTV. So all sort of measurements required, we are able to do. Additionally, in semicon industry, ball grid arrays are indispensable for first or second level interconnect. So two chips are connected through interconnects. The arrays are tested for planarity, diameter uniformity, and we are using point sensor offered by our group company, that is from France. Besides, we can do topography, we can do PCB defect measurement. So on the defect side, we can basically take the picture of the sample, and we can do different type of measurements. If there's a scratch or a dent, or a cosmetic measurement is there, requirement is there. These are the wafer. So wafer roughness inspection is frequently performed to check the wafer surface after the machining step. So wherever we require the roughness, so there can be flatness, there can be roughness, there can be waviness, we are able to measure that. We can take the snapshot of the profile, and we can check the wafer roughness in some microns. We are also doing wafer edge inspection. So wafer edge inspection is critical to drive root cause analysis for improving the yield, preventing the possible cracks on the edge propagate in the wafer, damaging the chip. So we are basically, so if there is a crack on the wafer edge, that can damage the complete wafer. So we have a camera-based sensor that can be used to basically check the wafer edge. PCB can be inspected with the camera itself. So very recently, Marpos has done another acquisition, that is Solarius. So Solarius is a company from US that is basically offering 3D non-contact profilers, which is able to do 2D, 3D geometry, dimensional measurement like angle, radius, step height, distance. We can do defect analysis, macro level. We can do reference measurement. So here we have shown a picture of Viking, which is using a point sensor. Then the next level is Phoenix, where we can use line sensor for the 2D, 3D topography. But Solarius can offer even bigger machines, bigger solutions, which can be custom and tailor-made as per the customer requirement. This one has a XY stage of 150 by 150 mm, and the measurement can be programmed automatically. That's all from my end for the offerings to the semiconductor industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Anish, for taking us through the different solutions and product for the semiconductor industry. And as India is also, very keen to, promote and, make this industry grow, I guess the solutions from Marpos will be very effective and must for the companies who are looking at this industry. Thank you for your presentation. And let's move to Mr. Fabian. It's good to meet you, Fabian. Let's have your presentation.
Nice to meet you. I'm Fabian Vincent. I'm in Marpos. I joined Marpos in '94. I'm part of the oldest generation, legacy generation, and it has been a tremendous ways to work with Marpos all these years. I have started my career in Asia, in Hong Kong with Marpos, then moved to Singapore. From Singapore, I went back to France, become the CEO of Marpos France. We did acquisitions here, we did the grow, and lately I has been appointed as the responsible director for the aerospace business unit. I'd like to introduce you now what we aim for in this business of aerospace. Okay, so what we're doing in aerospace activity is both things. We are working in one side directly with Tier 1 and OEMs, and we're also supplying the supply chain with equipment from Marpos, similar to the one you have seen so far, but also with specific tooling, specific equipment, which is designed and is used only for the aerospace business. Okay, so what does it come for? Of course, we're working on large parts, aerostructures, which require various technologies, which we'll see later on, which basically either for the assembly of the aerostructures or for the components of the aerostructures. We are very close to work with engine manufacturers. These are OEMs, large makers, of course, only 4 of them, which are really large, for all of them. We also work with customers manufacturing landing gears. These are complex, sturdy machine systems where we offer our technologies in various topics. And of course, all of related equipment to the gearboxes and transmissions. Here we have big mechanics as well, fine assemblies, which our customers are using our equipment. And latest with the move from the electrification of the airplanes, we see that more and more actuators and motors are inside the planes. Here we're using our systems for controlling their motors and eventually also checking batteries, which are part of the complete assemblies of aircrafts. And these are elements of safety as well as elements of vital need for the. So what we do here, we have a rough view of all the technologies that we're able to use, for dimensional inspection. We can see that some of those components used in aerostructure will require our equipment for dimensional inspection, for process and tooling monitoring. And we have mapped in a way all of the necessary components in the aerostructures that will require in a more or detailed way technology, which has been partially already presented here. So we have done this mapping. You can see even for batteries and e-motors, there are lots of functional tests currently which are made with our systems to check the motors in the airplane. Likewise, when we speak about landing gears, we see that there are landing gears and related items like rims, brakes, landing gears. There are lots of elements in the process monitoring as well as the functional tests which are needed where we supply our technology. And as far as the engine is concerned, we have an intensive manufacturing processes where many components are vital to the engine, rotating components. An engine is a very complex system which requires to check in detail all of the elements, including functional tests as well as dimensional testing, controlling. And of course, we are using along these processes all the field monitoring which has been already introduced to you. Now we will enter into this. If you look at my table here, you can see that quality control is something which we have to do virtually always. And if you look at dimensional inspection, there is no other ways to produce components for the aerospace industry. I have to do dimensional inspection. Okay. In the aerospace, there are specifications of manufacturing of processes, which we call closed-door machining. Closed-door machining means that we cannot manufacture parts without monitoring the system, or we cannot open the doors to see what's going on inside the machine. This requires monitoring systems, probing systems, and systems that will make sure that what you manufacture inside the machine is done properly. So here we have example of probing for components like gearboxes, complete sub-assemblies for helicopters, where our customers are using currently probing systems inside machines. Components like grinding the blades or the compressor blades require as well probing and grinding and monitoring devices to make sure that the grinding process is done properly. This is the shop, which is located in one of customer OEM manufacturing landing gear. You can see the landing gear here on the yellow card, which is brought in the machine. These machines are running 24 hours, 7 days a week. They are fully door closed machining process. That means there is no one opening the door to see what's going to happen. That requires, of course, monitoring device. And you can see here one of our monitoring system from Artis, which is driving, making sure that all the processes which are made in compliance with what is requested. Just one single information about this. Monitoring requires sensors, all sorts of sensors which are located in the machine. Okay, this is another kind of machine. As you can see here, the sensors which are either torque force sensors, we have power monitoring, we have coolant flow, we can have acceleration, vibration, acoustic, and force gauges. All of these sensors will send the data to our system, which will make sure that every single process is done within the normal range that it should work. That's the way monitoring is working, and that's the way you can keep on with making closed-door machining with our system. Here as well, this is Rolls-Royce has selected our system for machining of blisks for engines, and they use Marco systems in their machines. Another important and very big volume of components in aerospace, and this is going back to the aerostructure, are rivets and fasteners. They must be made, they're used massively, and they must be manufactured according to the specifications. When you have mass production of rivets, the only way you can make sure that those fasteners are made properly is to use monitoring devices on the machines. And here we offer systems from Brandcamp. That's an example. Some of our customers are using those to manufacture their fasteners for the aerospace industry and to guarantee the compliance of the production of their products. In transmissions are used to transfer the power from the engines to generators, for instance, or from APUs to the rest of the plane. You can see here we are using practically mechanical gauges, either checking the integrity and the quality of the gears, as well as checking dimensional and manual elements such as the board, the shafts, and so on, using our manual gauges. Likewise, aerostructures. I spoke about earlier about rivets and fasteners. They are drilling holes in the aerostructures to fix the elements together. Drilling holes is a delicate process, especially when you have bonded materials or you have multi-layered materials. And you must make sure that this hole, the entry, I would say the angle of the hole is correctly made. And to do this, you need to check those countersinks, those chamfers, those depths of the hole, the diameters, because if the rivet is not properly fitted, it will generate, in the best case, some turbulences. In the worst case, it can crack the structure and put it in danger the whole aerostructure. So we are offering a whole range of manual gauges, but the trend currently is some other here and some other here. The trend in this industry is to go to robotized and automated drilling process. And here we can as well equip and offer systems which are going on this automated system, drilling, controlling that the bore is properly drilled, controlling that the chamfer is properly made, and feeding back to a central unit that is controlling, that's keeping the data of every single hole. This is what the industry is going through. So we offer also those automated checking devices. And of course, a whole range of manual gauges, go no goes, thread gauges, spline gauges, all the components which are inside the engine, of all the components which are machined for the aerostructures as well. So these are solutions that we offer currently for customers. I am going to just speak about one more sector, which is the MRO, which is another activity that we do. We manufacture toolings for the aerospace industry, and these toolings are designed to assemble or disassemble the elements of the engines. These are currently manufactured in France and Italy and exported worldwide. Examples of tooling designed to provide support in grinding the turbine blades for MRO purposes, for machine repair, monitoring, repair and overhaul. We have as well all sorts of tools which are really dedicated, which we have designed purposely for that purpose, that we're manufacturing for that purpose. These are sold either through our OEMs, the engine manufacturers, or they are sold to distributors which are actually covering the market for the MRO. Let's see, these are turbine extractors, keys, branches, all dedicated equipment that we currently are manufacturing for the aerospace industry. Okay, that is what is about my presentation.
Thank you, Fabian, for for your presentation, because aerospace is an industry which needs high precision and quality. And look, and hearing from you, with the length of years you have worked with Marpos, it's like a Marpos family. One award I think it comes to my head is Best Place to Work award. If it was in my power, I would have given Best Place to Work is Marpos. Looking at from 3 years, I can say from toddler to complete grown company, people who have invested their uh, great age with the company. So I can understand the way the culture Marpos has built from the corporate office, passed the same legacy to the you can say different countries. And I can see Hanish is there for a very long time. Raman is gearing up for another decade or something. So quickly, I will take a couple of questions because I know it's a busy day for everyone. So Luca, you have spoken about the quality is something you always stressed, the quality and sense. And after a lot of countries putting a lot of mandate that if somebody is exporting or bringing products, it has to be a certain quality. So according to you, what role does quality checks plays for the entire manufacturing industry, especially from Indian as well as global perspective? Your views on quality checks, because
Yeah, thanks, Ines. That is a very interesting question. Yes, I mean, as I stress out, but also as you see by the presentation of my colleagues, the quality is fundamental everywhere, especially nowadays. If you want to emerge, if you want to win in this very competitive market scenario, okay, definitely one card that you can play is a price.
Mhm.
But we know for experience that this card has been already played by China in the past, providing a very cheapest products, but unfortunately with not a very good quality. So this game is being spoiled. And I don't think that especially India nowadays can play the same card that India played years ago, because everybody knows how it will end. And now, if you look at what did China, is improved drastically the quality of the product. So for me, India has got an advantage. India is already could have a lesson learned from the China model. So what they need to move forward is to try to create a very good mix between a quality product and the cheapest price. This could come with the advantage that in India we know that is having one of the most youngest population. It became also the most populated country in the world. So definitely there are a lot of talent. So I think that there is the fundaments to achieve this. On the other side, India manufacturing landscape should be helped by company like Marpos, for example, that are also here to help and teach also the customer on what are the tools, what are the ways to improve their quality in order for them to succeed, you know. So I mean, we want to have a win-to-win situation. I'm not saying that we sell, bye-bye, thank you very much, and we disappear. No. It's a constant growth that we are open to do together. But this will happen only with the collaboration. I mean, nowadays, with all also with the recently US election, we know that definitely Mr. Trump will decide to put a very tariff barrier, customs, import duties, etc. So that will not become easy. That will not open definitely the US market for importing. So the only way to strive and to compete with a continually most challenged market situation is to every day innovating and every day push the boundaries of the quality one step forward. But this will come only with collaboration within companies and to create an ecosystem to support this.
Luca, in your presentation, you said, you stressed that, in future you will have a manufacturing plant in India.
Yeah.
So what is new? What sort of new investment you are doing in India? Because I've seen the list of, branches you have, set up in India. So apart from this in 2024 or 2025, what sort of new investment or new thing you are doing, to cater Indian market?
Yes, that is. I don't want to spoil anything, but anyway, in the beginning of the next year, will be a big inauguration of our new tech center that we are working on during this time in Bangalore. That will be, let's say, concentrated on serving industry like a semiconductor and triple C market, also because that area is populated by the majority of those companies, as you know better than me, living there. And along to this also for the battery manufacturing companies. So we are investing quite a lot, not only in the new tech center, but also in the application that will populate the tech center. So will not be only a showroom, but will be always, as the name is saying, a tech center where we'll be able to test physically, to make some tests on customer components in order to provide and to prove what our quality instruments are able to provide and to help to our customers. So let's tune. We'll let you know as soon as everything will be fixed, the inauguration date, etc., in order to become a part of it.
Correct. Thanks, Luca. We'll look forward to visit your tech center once it's ready, and we're looking forward to visit it soon. So, Fabian, now let's come to you. How do you, as a bird eye view, how do you see the future of aerospace, the global as well as India? Because since you are, you have what is happening in globally, what is happening in India. As a bird eye view, how do you see the industry going? How India is shaping up?
Thank you for the question. It's very important, actually. The aerospace industry is growing at a major pace, a major rate. During the COVID period, the best forecasts were coming up with an industry that will recover around 2025, and it could even be worse. Some said, or it will take even more. In 2021, we were already ramping up. 2022, we already mostly reached the levels of 2019 before COVID. And the orders for aircraft and the needs for people to travel, the needs or the will for people to travel has always been on an increasing side. This is an industry which has a growing rate of 9% for the equipment, the investments, CAGR of 9% per year. That means if you do nothing, 3 years, you go by 30% more or less. So this is a major growth for the industry. And at the same time, this industry has gone from, I would say, a manually operated industry where people were relying a lot on the skills of the operators to a more and more digitized and automated industry. So we can see currently technologies coming in, looking for securing the processes, because this is the main purpose. You must make sure your aircraft is flying, it doesn't fall, that no bolts is missing, that everything is working, even the toilet paper has to be perfect, but otherwise you can imagine all sorts of things there in the plane. But that's an industry which has no space for mistakes and approximate work. So as this industry is growing in volume, it is growing as well in their requirements and their upgrades in terms of technology. And I mentioned in the past as well that IA, artificial intelligence, will make a global change also in this industry, because currently, with the growth of this industry, having skills following up the pace of growth that the industry is following is not something which is reasonably feasible. It takes some time to grow an engineer in aerospace. It takes 4, 5, 6 years to have a skilled operator in MRO or in assembly. And if you have that growth, it just needs you to find other ways to make it. That's one way is the automation. The second way is using artificial intelligence. And this is coming in also in the processes of assembly, making sure that every step is done properly by guiding the operators and by helping them in doing the job. Now, this is the global view, the whole picture of the aerospace. But if you look now at what's going on, especially lately with the political changes in the US, and what the experts think about how the US economy is turning its back from the Chinese economy, there is here a soft spot for India. I think India has a great opportunity to take over supplies of tier 1 equipment, flying parts for engines, flying parts for aerostructures, as we could see. And there are other items which are interesting. I mentioned in the past that IP protection is a key element which is very important for this industry. And I think India has a structured way to keep the IP protection here. I think also that there are, however, things on which India must work. The structure itself must be coming from the top and the head. I think the government has to do something here. There are clusters to be structured, to be made. There are loopholes there which need to be addressed. Materials, the raw materials, the components that are needed up from the channel. If we speak about some alloys, some super alloys, some titanium alloys, Inconel alloys, some special steels and so on. I'm not sure currently India is able to manufacture them in the quantity that the aerospace industry is requiring. So we would need some help from other countries around, but this is something that can be addressed that way. So I think from this perspective, India is having a great opportunity in the aerospace industry, both for manufacturing components as well as for keeping up the maintenance of the aircraft. Basically, the price, the cost of maintaining an aircraft engine is 6 times the capex value, the value of aircraft you buy, the engine you buy. So there is also a big market for India for that. So that's what I see. Marpos has lots of technologies, lots of support for this industry. It's very vast. There are lots of demands here. And I think we can help India to grow up its aerospace industry, and we're looking forward to that.
Thanks, Fabian. One quick question. It comes to my mind that, this is the day and age of startup. A lot of India is pushing startup. Same, I'm seeing Japan, US, Italy, Germany, and all. So keeping your experience into mind, let's say somebody who wants to start aerospace, somebody who want to do something in aerospace as a young engineer, or somebody to want to pick some component. What are your suggestions to startups who want to build something in aerospace?
Good question. First of all, I think aerospace requires No, I cannot speak about every for all the companies, but it's what
Yes.
my mindset is. I think it requires a mindset. It requires to be curious, to be meticulous, and to accept to follow rules and to follow the processes in a surgical manner. Once you will be seen as someone that has a conscious in making the job in a reliable manner, there is an open space for you. Of course, studies are important. If you want to study engineering, there are specified schools that provide aerospace engineering. And this is a great way to do that. And for those who dream to become pilots, well, there are schools for that. So I think that's another thing that makes people dream. You know, Orson Welles said, you have to reach for the moon. But if you miss the moon, you end in the stars. That's exactly what the aerospace is about.
Right. Thanks, Fabian. Now, Raman, let's come to you. Since you know you are into biomedical, can you explain the unique challenges and requirement of leak testing in biomedical application as compared to other industries?
So Dinesh, before I answer to your question, we were talking about quality and the price sensitive market of India. So I was reading the quote the other day, which is linked to my answer to your question. You know, the famous writer Benjamin Franklin once said, the bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low price is forgotten. So if you are buying some of the equipment and you're compromising with the quality just for the cost point of view, I'm relating to, my answer to your question. Then what will happen? You will buy the equipment, but definitely for the medical segment, you will cry because you will not be able to satisfy the needs of, particular what is required for medical segment. For following your leak testing question, similar thing is happening because, a lot of leak testing suppliers are there who are into, leakage testing of all the components. But if you want to ensure the proper quality, proper, reliability of, the blood bags, the blood lines, urine bags, you need to check the part through a very precise equipment, which Marpos can supply you. And the challenges which we are currently facing, to be very honest, if some medical customer is also, reading this, seeing this here in India, I have seen that most of the medical customers are doing the water dipping leak test. So I'll give you, the insight why water dip leak test should not be done. Technically, I'll explain. Because water has a tendency only to check the leakage up to 10 to the power -1 millibar liter per second, I would say. And further, if you check the leakage through air, it has a tendency to check it through 10 to the power -3 millibar liter per second. So if you are checking the leakage with the air, you will be getting the precise leakage. So from your platform, I would like to, tell my all the viewers who are into medical industry, try to get the leakage check done with air leak tester and from Marpos, not any other leak tester.
Thanks, Raman. And your first part of the answer, I'm very curious whether I'm reading very less books. You are getting quotes from, I don't know. Yeah, I am reading less books. I love your, the first part of the answer because it was well said. So I will also, update myself and go more into article and content. One, this is not from for biomedical, Raman. Quality is something is very much required in electric vehicle, and since you were a part of EV panel as well, I know you're working with some of the customers without naming customers or what is high quality EV market. I see a lot of services not there, quality we are suffering. So how do you see EV market, the adoption of quality in battery technologies or other is happening? Your views on that, the EV part, biomedical, I got it.
No, Dinesh, same. I will say, as I explained during my panel discussion also, I do not have the fear of, anxiety, basically anxiety of range. I have the anxiety of life because
Okay.
I have seen a lot of incidents happening here in India, fire incidents. So for that, I have drawn the interest of our viewers previously also for one of the solution because, please focus on testing. Basically, this is not the only reason, but electrolyte leakage which is happening from the cells which we are importing from other countries, which are not being properly tested. One of the, I would say the core reason for catching the fire is getting the electrolyte which is getting leaked from the cells, completely sealed cells. So for that, Marpos can support the customers who are not even manufacturing cells, who are importing, to provide them a incoming machine which can check the completely sealed cells electrolytes so that at least we can, other factors are also there, overheating and other factors are also there for fire. But basic root cause of the fire incidents we can report, we can, eliminate from there. And yes, the anxiety which is in my mind can also be removed. So again,
Mhm.
use that Marpos equipment.
Thanks, Raman. So now let's come to Hanish. Hanish, semiconductor is an industry which is being talked about a lot. Government has a lot of push, a lot of PLI schemes, and now like car is not a car; it has a lot of chips from cell phones. Like I know Marcos has a lot of solution in cell phones, and I forgot the brand. If you can tell me which product top companies is using right now in India as well. So whether it's electronics, whether it's whether it's aerospace, whether it's EV, semiconductor is something which is very important right now. So in the complete semiconductor ecosystem, in which process Marcos can contribute maximum out of all the processes?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, I would say. So I will start quoting the Moore's law. So as per Moore's law of 1965, the number of transistors going inside the integrated circuit are going to double every 2 years.
Okay.
In one smartphone, we are having approximately 62 microchips.
Okay.
One microchip is having 90 billion transistors. So I would say the compactness, the small, the sleekness, that is how we see the PCs, the phones, the HVAC systems, the electronic products are getting smaller and compact and sleeker because of the number of transistors going inside the IC, because semiconductor is an integral part of manufacturing of these products. So the wafer thinning on a back grinding machine, where we are speaking about wafer thickness measurement, is one process where I would say that we can contribute, and we are contribute to the maximum.
Okay.
That is from the in-process of control of the in-process sensor used on a machine. And I have shown during my presentation the kind of product portfolio, sensors, amplifiers we have for this kind of a machining process.
Okay. And just quickly, if you can tell me the name of that machine for the cell phone, the leak testing of cell phone, the brand of the machine. Leak testing, Marvos has a solution for leak testing for cell phones.
Okay,
The
so
name
you are
of the
speaking about the
application,
Polaris.
the name of
Ah,
the name of the
okay,
So,
application.
yeah,
so,
sir.
so yeah. So you remember very well
Because
because we showcased that machine in the Semicon exhibition this year in Greater Noida. So
yes,
the machine is Polaris, which is
yes,
doing the air leak testing of the phone enclosures.
yes, because that is the technology which I saw in Semicon India. And Luca, I know we have got very less time, so quickly I want to ask you, my last question, that we will very soon be, having IMTEX 2025, one of the
Yes.
biggest show. So, as what new we can expect in IMTEX? What sort of preparation is going on? And finally, about Samurai Awards, because since we will be giving out awards on 15th of November, and at Goa. One thing about what the preparation and everything, what you are doing for IMTIX, because I guess that is the one of the biggest show which will happen in India.
Yes, exactly. You know, that is happening every 2 years. So I mean, this is one of the, I think that is the biggest show, especially related to the machine tool. But what we've seen also from the last exhibition is, I'm not saying that is completely shifting, but apart showcasing what we'll be able to provide in the machine tool, we would like to showcase also the remaining ecosystem that is coming after the machine tool, because we have to remember that nowadays the companies are not anymore making only a screw, but is making the screw plus other X of components. So it will be a limitation only to big focus only on the machine tool. So we showcase also other segments, some of them related to the biomedical or early testing, other related to the semiconductor industry, just to complete the offer and to showcase to our potential customer and current customer what else Marpos is doing, not only in the paper but in the real. So, and on top of it, we should, if we'll be able to have everything, one robot drill that will be very well equipped in order to showcase what is the maximum that we can achieve in the machine tool industry. So how many checks we can do and whatever we can have in order to have a more or less 100% fully controlled machine tool solution.
And lastly, your closing thought for the for the industry. Any message you have for the user, for the semicon industry, electric vehicle, biomedical, and plus the machine tool industry? A message from you?
For me, I mean that I think that now the timing come to move forward to less chatting and more facts. Say, okay, it's nice to see that India. Let's try to put something on the ground, guys. I mean, let's move forward.
Let's move forward and let's have more action. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Luca. Thank you, Hanish. Thank you, Fabian. Thank you, Raman. And once again, thank you, Fabian, because your aerospace webinar was a big hit for us. We got a lot of good feedback about the aerospace and all. And thank you, Luca. And we look forward to meet you at Samurai Awards 2024 and listen your thoughts on the topic, the future of workplace in manufacturing. And thank you for your support and looking forward to see you in Goa.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.